Welcome back to House. Ali, an area that you know quite well, insurance.
Insurance, yes. So insurance is you're paying a premium, you're paying money to protect yourself for an unforeseen event, future unforeseen event. For instance, there's insurance for a lot of things, but for instance, a medical insurance, so you're paying premiums along the way against if you have a heart attack or need to go to hospital, whatever it may be. Okay, it's medical.
Oh yeah, I get that, but insurance is boring as crap. So, but why should I actually spend my time watching this? What am I going to get out of watching this, Ellie?
You'll understand, is insurance important? If it is important, how to have perhaps structure it. There's many ways to structure your insurance.
Right. Okay, so basically what we're going to give the viewers today is a pathway, so knowledge base of insurance, maybe a few different insurances,
yes,
and just a bit of a pathway so they can get from point A to B for insurance, because it is a minefield.
It's complex.
Okay, so don't leave the channel because you need to know this. Okay, all yours. Sorry, Alan.
So yeah, as I explained, insurance is you're paying a premium for an unforeseeable future event that will cost a lot of money. Medical, car accident, death, for instance. So death, life insurance, that's probably the premium insurance and probably the most important insurance. So life insurance is, as I say, you pay premium. So if you were to die, there will be a big sum insured, a big payout.
Hang on, what do you mean by premium?
Premiums, you're paying monthly or you're paying yearly money or cost to own a policy that should,
Okay, yes.
again, so should, in this case, you die,
Yes.
your offspring, your whoever it is, wife, will be paid whatever the amount is, $1 million, $2 million, whatever,
etc.
Correct. So I've seen this a few times.
But is it only if I die?
No, you can have insurance for traumatic events, so heart attack,
If I get cancer?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
anything that will affect your earning capability, really, you can insure for.
Right. Do I need to go with one of the really big insurance houses?
No, there's plenty of insurances out there, and there's also insurance within your superannuation.
Right.
There's mandatory insurance.
In America, do we have superannuation?
Yes, it's not called superannuation, but they have an equivalent
Right.
policy out there.
Yep, okay.
Most OECD countries, most Western countries
Yes.
have a superannuation type scenario.
Okay, good to know.
Yes. Ultimately, the government's put it in policy because they're saving themselves a lot of money. They're not doing it because they love their people. It's more so, population. It's more so that they're trying to save their budget for the future.
Okay.
Because I don't want when people stop earning, so they've retired, that all of a sudden they're relying on the government to feed them, house them, and all their other expenses.
Yes.
So that's the
I've never looked at it that way.
Well, I have.
Yeah. It's really interesting.
It is interesting.
Yep.
So, insurance, I'm a big believer in insurance, particularly if you've got dependents. And what do I mean by that?
Yep.
A scenario, you're 50 years of age, or 40 years of age, you've got a couple of kids at school.
Yes.
You've got a wife who's earning less than you, so you're the major
Partner.
partner, you're a major breadwinner. Okay, you're the major person providing income to the family. So if you were to be injured or die, or some issue has caused you to not be able to work for a period of time,
Yes.
your dependents are going to suffer greatly. Who's going to pay for the cost of living?
Day-to-day expenses.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. So in that case, should you have had insurance in place, the insurance and the event occurred, you had a car accident, you became disabled, for example, TPD, total and permanent disablement, TPD is another insurance, you will be paid out.
Yes.
A sum insured, a lump sum will be paid out, and that will be provided in order for your living expenses to be paid.
Yeah, yes, makes sense. And I've known people where they haven't had insurance and they thought that their family would step in. It doesn't happen. It really doesn't.
And at that moment in time, should that person have that event, they've got other priority in place to make sure that they will live.
Yeah.
So the last thing you want at that time, God forbid, is get injured and you worry, oh gee, okay, I've got my injury to worry about for one, but who's going to look after my children?
Well, that's right. And because you have your living expenses, because you've got, there's a good chance you will have a mortgage. You will have, as we discussed, there's children's expenses if you have children. You've got vehicles, you've got everything. It is amazing how much it actually costs you to live now.
But the upfront costs of going to hospital. So if you don't have
very much
medical insurance.
Yeah.
So there's so many different insurances. There's medical, there's, as I said, life insurances, there's car insurances, business insurances, there's many different types of insurances. It's all the same concept. Now, I'm, as I said, a big believer, should you have dependents. If you don't have dependents, if you're an independent person, today's day and age, there's a lot of people who are single, don't have dependents, don't have partners, whatever it may be. In that case, you can make a clear decision. Is it worth it paying all these premiums throughout your lifetime? You could be paying significant, you could be paying hundreds of dollars a month and never claim. Then you're saying, well, gee, it's one of those things. Was it worth it? So if you can afford and don't have dependents, as I said, maybe it may not be for you.
I'll tell you what I did.
Interesting.
I'll tell you exactly what I did. So I had a mortgage. I had 2 children at a pretty expensive school.
So it's a few years back.
Yep. And my wife didn't work.
Yes.
She was a student.
Yes.
And I was running my own company as well at the time, and I didn't want something to happen to me and then we lose everything. So I structured insurance through my advisor so I had life insurance, and I think the payout was $3 million.
Yes.
Okay, and then I had income protection.
Yes.
So I was guaranteed an amount every month. It kicked in after 2 months.
Yes.
Okay, so there was a period of 2 months, and it just kept going. Kept going, I think, until
Age 65.
Yeah, 65, I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was a lot of money that was coming in that avenue. I did the same I had life insurance as well for my wife.
Yes.
And it cost me a fortune. I will tell you what it cost. I was a smoker at the time.
So the premium increased. Yeah.
Yeah, it did. And the premium each year, I think it came in at about $18,000.
Wow.
Now, keeping in mind, it's a lot of money. I get it, but it gave me peace of mind because my children's education was paramount to me, and the school that they attended was very, very expensive. So that was enough said, and the last thing I was going to do was I wanted to be in a position where I had to pull my children out, because I had seen other people basically go to schools and beg principals to keep their kids in the school because they couldn't pay fees, because a problem had arisen. It's a very common problem.
Yes.
Not many people talk about it, but it happens all the time. And so for the sake of $17,000, I just did it. Within 3 years, I'd quit smoking. Yep. And it went from $17,000 down to $9,000.
Yep.
And then my children, they finished school.
Yep.
and off to uni, and I didn't need it anymore. So now what I do is I still have life insurance for myself and for Andrea, 1 million apiece.
Yep.
That's it. And $1 million apiece, it's costing me, I think, about $1,200 a year. Perfect. So $100 a month.
Yes.
And I think it's a very wise investment.
Yes. And just on a perfect example, and just on insurance, you've got to be mindful, like everything in life, the contract that you're signing, should you be a smoker, should you have family history of cancer or whatever it may be, should you do extreme sports, they're going to carve that out of the policy, because the insurance company, for obvious reasons, will only pay out when they genuinely believe the issue, the death or the health issue, was caused by anything that wasn't pre-existing. So they call it pre-existing conditions.
Yes.
Okay. So as I said, health, be it family history of some health issue, smoker, drinker, when I say gambler, I'm talking about gambling in terms of, it's not really gambling, but extreme sports. So should you be, in extreme sports, I'll definitely carve that out of the premium, because you're more likely to die as a result of that. So they're trying to protect their business as well.
Definitely, and keep this in mind. It's amazing people think I'm insured and I'm going to be fine and everything's good. If you say you're not a smoker and you're a smoker and you come to your demise, they will test you and they'll pick it and they will find it. I guarantee. Your policy, void. If you drink drive, you have an accident and you die under the influence, not a chance.
Correct.
You will not receive a payout. So you must be very, very careful, because as Ali's just pointed out, they will do everything in their power to protect their bank account.
Yeah, so at claims, as they call it, at the time of claims, when you want to claim, you've got to ensure that you never lied at the time of...
To begin with.
To begin with.
Yes.
And that you've got all the documentation, you've got all the invoices that you've paid out, you've got everything there, send it off, and they should pay you straight away. There shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're not sure about something, don't guess. Do you know this? I don't know. Not that I'm aware of. But that's if you're not aware. If you're aware of it, you think, oh, they won't find out. Oh, yes, they will. They will dig everything up. Okay, so you just lay it out. Yes, back then you've got this, because then you don't have anything to worry about. But if you hide something from them, you're really going to have something to worry about if it comes time that you need, or your family or a member needs to make a claim.
Absolutely. So you may think you're smart, you're going to be saving money.
Nope.
But think about it this way, you're going to be very stupid, because you're going to be paying out for potentially many years, and at the time of claim they're not going to pay because they say that you were unethical, that you lied, that you didn't tell them that you had health conditions of heart issues or whatever it may be. So you have to be 100% upfront, or there's no point entering the contract.
Yes, and even if you weren't honest to begin with, when you started paying the premium, and then but you've cleaned yourself up, so to speak, at the end of a 15-year journey and something happens, no. If you took out a policy and you said you weren't smoking and then you were, and then all of a sudden something comes up, and it could be in social media, and there you are with a ciggy, boom, you're done.
So it's a constant thing that we always have. You have to be upfront. You have to just communicate everything. Don't be afraid. It's always wise to communicate the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yep.
Because in that way, everyone understands what the situation is. And if anything were to change for the better, like you were a smoker or not a smoker, your premium will reduce. But if anything were to change on the contrary, let's say you became a smoker, you must inform them.
100%. Yes.
Very important.
We're not perfect, but we all try to be as close as we can.
Correct. So, in a nutshell, insurance is extremely important,
yes,
but you've got to do it correctly and you've got to be honest about it.
Agree. Oh, yeah, that's a tricky one. A tough one, but very important, and that's why it's on our channel. We hope you've enjoyed this discussion, and it makes it a little bit easier for you navigating insurance. Any questions, please put in the comments. Give us a like if you like what you hear. Subscribe, we'd be glad you did.
And we've got many more exciting, interesting topics coming up.
Yeah, money. Enjoy.
Thank you.